Hello, everybody. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to sit there and share this on my Facebook. Hold on a second. Here we go. Figured it out. I'm really slow when it comes to doing stuff. Not like mentally, but like it takes me a second to look at the page. Okay, hold on 1 second. All right. So before I even start, I'm just going to sit here and I'm going to say that because of the fact that I did make this, the actual video, the name of this COVID-19, I don't know. I don't have a very big platform, so it might not sit there and get taken down or not. I don't know. But anyways, the biggest reason right now that I'm sitting here and I'm deciding to do this video is because I am, oh, good Lord. I'm frustrated with many different things. And before I even, hold on a second. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Okay. There we go. All right. Now I can click back over. Okay. Still trying to get used to like everything and how I set up everything or whatever. My lighting's not the best, but if I turn the light on, it's way too bright. Anyway, so there are multiple different things that I want to discuss when it comes to the COVID-19 and the hysteria, the actual, whoever's viewing, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. The actual virus itself, nurses, doctors, essential workers, the stimulus bill, pretty much everything right now that's going on is kind of what I want to talk about. Also, the quarantine, self-quarantine, the fact that people are talking about if this is not real, like there's people out there saying that this is not an actual real virus, which is not true. It is real, but I have my own beliefs that I believe that the government puts. I believe that the virus is real, but I believe that it is man-made, that it's made by the government. And I believe that they do put things like this and AIDS and all the other diseases that we have out here. I do believe that there are quite a few that are made for population control from the government. And I do believe that they sit there and they release different things to make people go in mass hysteria and different things and stuff like that. I remember my mom mentioning to me that she said that when she was a kid, she remembers watching on live television, you know what I'm saying, back in the day when, you had 4 channels and when the AIDS epidemic happened. And it was huge. And people sat there and they didn't know how to act. They didn't know how to handle it. People didn't want to touch people, even if they looked like they had a bruise that might have resembled, you know what I'm saying, an AIDS lesion. And so, for one, the biggest thing I want to say before I even get into the rest of this is to every single person, no matter if you're a doctor, a nurse, if you are right now out there working, if you are considered an essential worker and you are not in your home, you are not spending time with your family, and you are out there, I consider you still someone who's on the front line. My husband, I'm sorry, I said taco. Anyways, my husband is required essential worker because of the fact that he takes care of patients in a facility and stuff like that. It's not a hospital, but it's an in-home care facility. And he works 12 hours a day, and he goes there and he does what he's supposed to, and he's helping the community. Now, not just him, not just nurses, not just doctors. All those people are doing absolutely wonderful things, and I'm so happy to see these people we're supposed to be coming together as a nation. And I think that we will get there, but I think it's really hard right now. But I want to thank anybody. If you are in the medical industry, if you're in the food industry, no matter what your job is right now, and you're working and you're not collecting unemployment, and there's nothing wrong if you do. But if you're the one that's out there and you're exposing yourself and actually exposing your family, I pray for you. I pray for your family. Even if you don't believe, I'm still going to pray for you. That's just me and my nature. I have not done a video in a long time. Just with everything going on and different stuff and different shit happening. I just haven't been able to sit there and speak on this topic. There's been a lot of stuff I want to address, but I haven't. And so anyways, back to what I was saying. The virus, from what I heard, there was a rumor about the fact that there was the COVID-19, and that COVID-19 came out, and it's obviously COVID-19, I guess, because of the fact that it came out in 2019, and I guess there was a COVID-17. Now, that is not factual. I did not check that. I have not looked at that, so do not quote me on the fact that I said that, because that's just a rumor, I guess you could say, that I heard. Now, it is obviously people are sitting there and self-quarantining, and as you can see, people are actually going quite insane from being home for forever. The first thing that I want to talk about is, please, if you are in your quarantine and you are making videos, try to understand that there are people out there that if you're sitting here and you're one of those people that are saying, fuck a quarantine, or I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that, and you're putting other people at risk, I want you to understand that you're putting the people that you love, the people that I love, you're putting them all at risk. And you are sitting there and just completely ignoring what's going on. And that's fine. If you want to do that, that's great. I mean, as long as you got $500 motherfucking dollars for a fine, go ahead, be my guest. But I'm not that person. For one, I don't drive because I have epilepsy. Now, that's another topic that I'd like to talk about. If you are doing the right thing, you're self-quarantining, you're doing everything you're supposed to. I know it's a very hard, especially I did hear that people are not allowed to bring their children into stores. I understand the premise, but how do single parents, I guess, obtain food, especially if on Walmart, you can sit there, and I used to Walmart grocery shop even before the COVID-19 thing happened. I sat there, and there were sometimes I was just being lazy, and I just didn't feel like going grocery shopping, so I did it online. Sorry, I was trying to find my cigarettes. Anyways, and so that normally when you go online and you'd sit there, go to the Walmart shop, or the online store, you get all your stuff, and you could get it that day. You could just pick it up later. Like I would set a date, and I would the time. My husband would go get it at 2, 4, whatever, whatever time I set it as. But whenever this started happening, even in the beginning of the outbreak, I noticed when I was doing it online, because we weren't taking our kids out, we weren't going to do it. We just did it for safety reasons and stuff like that or whatever. And because of the fact that my husband's already more exposed because he goes to work and he's out in this every day. So we didn't want to expose not only me because of my health, and I guess I found out I'm a higher risk. I didn't know that I was, but I guess I am. I didn't know that, but I guess so. I mean, I believe it. I'm not saying I don't, but I didn't know. Anywho, and then, so if you're sitting there and you're going and you're normally grocery shopping online, you normally could go get it. But then I sat there and I made it so he would sit there, and I went on there the one time and he couldn't pick it up that damn day. And he had to go, wait, you had to schedule it. You ordered it the day before and then pick it up the next day. And so I sat there and I was like, seriously? So I would have to do it days in advance purposely, just because of the fact that I would have to make sure so we'd get our stuff every damn time though. He just went to the store, and he actually physically, it was the first time he physically went to the store the other day, because we just needed to grab a couple things and he wanted to just get in and get out. And there was literally no baking powder. There was no flour. There was no nothing. For one, I want to know when all these motherfuckers decided to start baking from scratch. That's what I want to know. For two, please stop taking everything, because I want people to understand that you are not only making the people at these stores work more, and they're working more and more with less staff. And like I said, whoever's viewing this, please let me know who you are. I really love the fact that at least one person is staying in here and watching. It really, really is. I really appreciate it. And so whoever you are, thank you. Now, when you're doing that, you're making these people who are overworked, who are tired, who are understaffed, you're pushing it harder on them, that they have to sit there and do more than what they already are, which is already enough as it is, if not too much. You don't need to go in mass hysteria and buy all the toilet paper or all the flour and baking soda and yeast, I see, is the thing now too. But anywho, so when you do that, you're not only, so when you're picking up that bag of flour or that those rolls of toilet paper, and you're stockpiling. I want you to think about the fact that you're overworking a mother or father. You're taking time away from them to be able to go back home to their kids because they have to stay late to stock. You have to sit there and you have to remember that when you do that to that person, then then that follows to the truck drivers. People aren't thinking about the truck drivers. These people are literally constantly touching things all over, packages, different merchandise, different things to ship to different stores. And you are sitting there and legitimately putting them at such a high risk because they're touching everything, because everybody inevitably right now is so fucking greedy that they think that not only because they're home, that we don't need to worry about the people that are fucking out there. No, you do. Literally, there's a story online about how fucking truck drivers are literally falling asleep. They're tired. They're not seeing their families. They're not getting adequate sleep. They're going to inevitably crash because people are not reacting the way they should. You need to do self-quarantining. If you're going to work, self-quarantine. Do the self-quarantine. Go to your job if you have to, if you're an essential worker. If you're not, stay home. Try to limit your outside exposure. If you have a yard, go in your yard. Go play. Go use some chalk with your kids. Do whatever when it comes to that. But if you live in a high densely populated area, or you don't literally live if I live in an apartment complex, luckily my apartment complex doesn't have a whole lot of kids. It has, like, I'd say, I think there's like in the whole building, maybe like 5 or 7 different couples that have kids, including myself. And there's a really relatively big yard out front. Now, I cannot go outside unless my husband is home. I don't even like it, even though he works third shift and he sleeps while we're awake in the day and then he leaves later on. I don't even like that because there would be no way for him to be able to come, say, if I had a seizure, get the kids. And our area, it's fenced in, but not all the way, because there's an actual house where the neighbors are. And I don't know why there's a giant cut hole in their fence. It's like weird, but I don't inevitably sit there and I don't take my children out. I keep saying inevitably. I don't know why. I don't take my kids out because of the fact that even before coronavirus, I can't, because I could put them at risk to sit there and get hit by a car if I was to have a seizure outside, or they could, God, name one thing, anything could happen. They could get snatched up, anything can happen. So with that in mind, and the fact that I'm saying all that, before I end and go on to the next topic, please make sure, stop overstocking, stop buying everything. If you need to, the best thing that you can do if you really don't have any food, or you're trying to, say, share. And I know a lot of people are baking things and you can give that to somebody. My best bet is, if, say, I wanted to make a big pot of spaghetti, I wanted to give some to my parents. And the best way that you can honestly do that, if you are seeing your family, certain people I know are seeing their family or whatever, but if you're not, go ahead, make the food, sit there, drop off the food, knock on the door, leave it there, put a little love you note, you know what I'm saying? Whatever you decided to make them, chili, spaghetti, whatever it is you decided to cook, and leave it at the door. And that's really nice. And that's kind of like the best way that you do. But before you touch it, I would recommend, we ordered a pizza, and there's the whole no touch safe delivery, which is bullshit. All it does is protect them. And so that's why I say, if you're delivering something to anybody, make sure that when you set it down, wipe the entire thing off with I get alcohol and a spray bottle, and you just literally, you can dilute it if you want to with like a little bit of water, or you don't have to, it doesn't really matter. It's just alcohol, and it just kills everything. So I would sit there, say, if I had a big pot of spaghetti or chili, I would just literally just sit there, spray a wipey, or even just the entire pot itself, and I would wipe it all off. I would wipe it all down, and then I would sit there and leave, and I would even put a sticky note saying that I sat there and sanitized this before I left it on your doorstep, because there are people that do have, you know what I'm saying? Like right now, my grandma's 70. And so she has an immune system that's not built for this. She can't fight this the way that other people can now. That doesn't mean that people that look just like me, who are 26 years old, you can still get it, especially if you have a compromised immune system. Like my cousin is in jail right now, and he's trying to talk to the judge because not only does he sit there and he have a weakened immune system, he also has a tumor. He's a brain tumor. And of course, and lots of people can say, well, he got himself into that. Of course he did. And he turned himself in to serve his crime. And then this shit popped off. I was like, you picked literally the worst time to come back home and do the right thing. So anyways, and so those are people that are susceptible. I'm susceptible because of the different problems that I have. I guess if you have, I don't know how true this is, but I guess if you have eczema or psoriasis, I guess your immune system, you have more of a certain something. Not positive, but it's like a certain something your body produces, and I have it. I have eczema. I don't have psoriasis, but I have eczema or whatever and stuff like that. And it's true. He was talking about how when someone scratches their skin and say that there's they have a patch of eczema or psoriasis, I would skin my knee and the skin would kind of like instantly grow back. It was the weirdest thing. It was like bleed and then it would grow back. I remember my friend's mom looked at me like I was absolutely insane. And when it happened, she thought, I don't know if she looked at me like I was like, I don't know, like the devil, because she saw it happen. And it's just your body. It's just the way that your body produces something that makes it like rapidly grow back faster. I mean, that's what I heard or whatever. So I got to have to ask my doctor about that one though. So once again, if I'm giving you factual stuff, I will tell you it's fact. If it's not, if it's an opinion, I will tell you. If it is a, say if it's just one person I know saying this, I will tell you these things. I am very, very much a factual person. I do not like going off of anything unless I know if I can talk about it, but I make sure to tell you what's fact, what's fiction, what's up in the air, what's my personal opinion. I think that's very important to get that across because some people get confused with facts and personal emotion and feelings. So anyways, one of the things that I would like to discuss is the fact that people right now are sitting there and hold on. People that are in the, hold on. Sorry. Okay. I wanted to go ahead and talk about the fact that people are freaking out about the fact that they're in quarantine. And quite honestly, I, in my own opinion, am frustrated. And the biggest reason that I'm frustrated, guys, is because of the fact that there are people out there that you don't even realize you could be friends or family with them, or you could sit there and not even know them. And in the wake of that, you're not understanding that there are people like me specifically that I'm talking about. I can't speak for anybody else, but I can only speak for myself. And when I say that it's very irritating to constantly see people sitting there and complaining about the fact that they are having to self-quarantine is quite frankly driving me up the fucking wall. If I'm not paying attention to the exact screen right now, I'm trying to go ahead and post the live video to a group that I'm in. Anyways, so back to what I was saying is, okay, I'm going to try and say this in a way that's not, I'm not trying to be a dickhead. I'm just trying to make people understand I have to self-fucking quarantine all the time. Now, is it by choice? No and yes. This has nothing to do with necessarily the COVID-19, besides the fact that I'm sick and tired of hearing people bitching about staying home. You are a person that is half lucky and half not. You don't have to sit there and you don't have to go to work, and you get to inevitably spend time with your children or whoever you love that is in your actual home. Which is wonderful. You get to be able to sit there and be home with your family. But the bad part is you don't go to work. But luckily that we are getting compensated by the government. So in saying that, I'm frustrated because there are people like me, and there's also a woman that I just added actually. She made a video on my group about the fact that she was talking about how she has a compromised immune system. And I completely understand that. And when you have health, and she also said that her husband was an essential worker like mine was. And so I took the time and went out of my way to message this woman, and she responded back and she said thank you, which I thought was really, really nice. Her video was awesome though. I loved it because she explained exactly pretty much in a different way, in her own way, but a sense of somewhat of what I'm trying to explain. Don't be fucking cautious. Understand that there are people out there that you're putting at risk when you sit there and go, fuck this. I'm going to do whatever I want to do. Even besides the $500 fine, you're putting people's health at risk. There's a second person watching, whoever you are. Thank you so very much. I really appreciate it. Please leave your name or just comment something so I can know who you are. I really, really appreciate it. And also, I'm not one of those people that's going to force you to put, like at the end of every video, I always see people put a thumbs up or like and share this video. I'm not going to force you to do that. If you want to, be my guest, but I'm never going to end up saying that. Now I have 4 people on here. That's really awesome. I just ended up adding this video to one of my groups that I'm in. So luckily I did that purposely so I can have some of the people that I know I connect and kind of align with in different matters like this that could either agree or even sit there and try and push back and challenge me mentally. And I always like that too, though. So back to what I was saying. We talked about the other part, but when I want to talk about when I say that I'm 50% forced to self-quarantine constantly, and the fact that it's pissing me off because of the fact that people are sitting here acting like they're like, oh my God, what do I do? I'm so bored. I get that. And I get that. And I understand that. You've not been home. You've not had to do this. I have epilepsy, so I was constantly fired because of the fact that I would get jobs. They would sit there and they would hire me. I'd tell them I had epilepsy, and then they'd say, oh, we'll be fine. And then I would have a seizure, and then like 2 days later, I'd get fired. And of course, there's other jobs that I fucked up myself. I think everybody has that. But I eventually got to the point where I was so sick and tired of sitting there and getting fired. So I eventually had to be a stay-at-home mom. Now, in me saying that, the reason why I say I have to quarantine is because my husband works 12 hours a day. He is an essential worker. And because of the fact that he works so much to provide for us, in this sense, whoever liked this, thank you so much. I have to sit there and I can't go out of my house. So as much as I love being a mother, I have to sit there and I have to watch my daughter look out the window and go, Mommy, I want to go outside. Mommy, I want to go outside. I want to go outside. I want to go play. And I'm an emotional person. I don't want to cry. But when you have to see your daughter, because my son's not old enough, go to the window and go, Mommy, I just want to go outside. I just want to go play. And even when COVID's not going on, I have to tell her, no, we can't go outside because it's not one of Daddy's days off. Because Mommy could have a seizure and get sick outside, and then something bad could happen to you. And you could run out in the road and get hit by a car. So the reason I'm getting emotional is because I'm so fucking sick and tired of hearing people about how they have to fucking self-quarantine. Be grateful that you get to sit there and take your kids out to the front fucking yard. Because I can't even do that. I can't take the trash out when my kids are asleep. And even if I lock the door and go out to do it, like there's many people that I know that do that. And there's some people that don't. Can't do that. Because I could have a seizure and my kids would be inside. So if you're one person and you can sit there and you can go out in your yard and you can sit there and you can drive or you can do these things, be grateful right now. Be grateful your daughter's not sitting there and telling you all she wants to do is go play like every other kid. And I have to disappoint her. So that's my frustration with the fact that stop bitching about the fact that you have to stay home. You're getting paid for the fact that you have to stay home. And it sucks. It all sucks. We know this sucks. But there are other people who have compromised immune systems that can't see certain people they love. Or I know one man who worked at a hospital was literally sitting there in my own hometown, told me that because he's so exposed at a hospital, he's sleeping in his fucking car so that his kids and his family are not exposed to it. So he goes and works fucking 12 to 14 hour shifts at a hospital, saving lives, and then sleeps in his car. So I just want people to be grateful and thank God that you are healthy, that you are alive, that God showed you another day to live. That's the only thing I'm saying with that. Not trying to necessarily bitch about my necessary situation, but I do want people to realize it can always be worse. And just don't take what you have for granted. Love the people you're around, especially at this time. We need to be united. Love each other. Call the people you love. Call your friends and family. Tell them how much you love them. Check up on them. Okay. Hello, Silver Vegan Brown. Hi. There is loads of wonderful things you can do indoors. Yes, there are lots of things indoors you can do. I'm really glad that you said that. Thank you so much. That's one thing I was going to say too, is that because of the fact that I do have to stay inside with my kids all the time, I have came up with like 50 fucking million ideas to do with my kids because I can't go outside. So we can't go swimming or running or doing a thing like that. So me and my kids take my table. I completely build them an entire fort and they get under it and they love it and it's connected to the table and they have so much fun. We do that. We also, if you take flour, water, and salt, like a whole bunch of fucking salt, mix it together, put it in there, form it into dough, don't eat it. And then you sit there and you can have your kids press their hands or their feet in it. And then you put it in the oven, I think at like 350 to 400 degrees. I can't remember one. You can look it up online though. And then you can sit there, they come out and you have your kids like little painted hands or feet or whatever you want. Then you can paint them. I did that. This was, like I said, these are all things I've done before COVID because I needed great ways to be able to entertain my kids. Another thing that I want to address is if you are at home and your kids are not of school age, and they're like in preschool or first grade or kindergarten or whatever, make sure that you're doing your ABCs and stuff. I sit there and I have, hold on. Right there. You can't really see it. It's kind of shitty, but anyways, it's my front door and it's solid wood. And so what I do is my daughter shouldn't have a chalkboard and there's no point because because it's all wood, she can just draw on it and we do our ABCs on there and our numbers. Those are really, really great things that you can do. I think normally you're going to learn to deal with the loads of stress. Maybe they will come out. Exactly. Thank you, Silver. I really appreciate that. That's exactly true. I think that people, if you take this with the right attitude, you can 100% sit there and come out with this in a positive way. And you can sit there and take this time to reconnect with your kids. Take this time to rub the scales off your feet. There's so many things you can do. I'm joking when I say that, but there's so many different things you can do. But I do want to sit there and make sure that people are teaching their kids while they're at home, making sure, because we did obviously hear that kids aren't going back to the school for the rest of the year. By the way, I want to say that's so not fair because I didn't get that shit. Okay. I was lucky for a snow day, but still it does kind of suck. So I just want to make sure that parents are trying to do the best thing they can. I try to, since I am a stay-at-home mom, like I said, this does affect me all the time, not just with COVID. Make sure that you individually are planning out time for your kids' learning, taking a break for yourself, then sitting there, then doing something, do learning, do fun activities, learning fun, you know what I'm saying? Get those chunks in there, but also don't overwhelm yourself because there's a lot of parents that don't know how to handle their kids 24/7 because they go to work and their kids go to school or daycare. And so, it's hard, because you've not spent this many hours all day with your kids. And some people do not have the patience to be stay-at-home moms. I don't know how many times I've gotten told that people sit there and there's people that I've gotten told that like, you're not, you don't work and da-da-da-da-da. And then I've also got a lot more people that sit there and say, you are awesome. I can't do that. I couldn't be with my kids 24/7 all day long because I love them, but they drive me nuts. And that's true. And my kids do drive me nuts, but I take breaks and you have to find a balance and it's really hard. But in this time, I definitely agree with Silver. This should be bringing us closer together, not further apart. And I say that with the social distancing. So let me see. Empty nest. Oh my gosh. Yeah, yes. Okay. So even if you don't have a kid, like Silver said, even if you don't have a kid, clean your whole house, dude. I'm about to go through and I have a really awesome carpet washer and I have to go through and do different areas. If you have a carpet washer, you obviously, want to do different areas, but just things like that, get stuff done, do some deep cleaning. You know what I'm saying? Do stuff like that. If you don't have kids and stuff, you can definitely do that. Yes, definitely. There's lots of stuff. There's definitely lots of resources and learning things. There's definitely fun activities. You know what I'm saying? Now, the only thing I could think of maybe why some of the baked goods were out at Walmart is because maybe people are sitting there and taking this opportunity to bake with their kids. Now, that I'm okay with. That I understand. But please don't buy up all the flour and all other stuff if if that's not, if you don't need it, and that's not what if that's not what you're doing. Anyways, and so that was just my view on that. The other thing that I want to discuss the other part of the COVID-19 part is, and I'm gonna probably people could like this idea, people could not. I believe that COVID is very 100% real. There's obviously people out there that's sitting there and saying, "Oh, it's fake, it's not real." Definitely believe it's 100% real. I believe that it's definitely impacting and killing people, and people are getting sick. But like I've talked about before, the flu kills a whole bunch of people. That's a totally different topic. One stays for like forever, and then the other one doesn't. But what I do want to press to people is this is a real situation. This is real. But I do, in my own personal belief system, believe that the government does, in fact, create different horrific fucking viruses like this and put them out into the population as population control. I do believe they have a cure. I believe they do it. I believe the same thing with COVID, cancer, AIDS, any of that crap. I believe these are population controls. Same thing as abortion. I believe one of the biggest reasons that people sit there and press abortion is because it's population control. These are inevitably things that are set up by the government that sit there and make it so the world is not overpopulated. And that's my belief. You can believe it, you can not. It's just my opinion. Yes, you said that use dry erase boards and paper. Yeah, not everyone's going to have a wooden door like I do, or my daughter can write on it chalk because she just writes on it chalk, and then I wipe it away with a wipey, and then I just put a little bit, if I want the door to look nice and not have anything on it, then I just sit there and rub a little bit of oil on it, like wood oil. And that works out really great. Anyways, there's just so much stuff that you can really do at home, and it is bored. And I know that everybody right now, like I guess the two fucking top things that people are watching is the president. Even if they hate him or love him, they're either watching that or they're watching the Tiger King. That's a completely different episode. Unless one of you guys really wants to talk about the Tiger King, I have my own opinions. Didn't even want to watch the fucking show, but I got sucked into it by my own husband who was like, "You need to watch Tiger King." And I was like, all right. And then I finally said, I'm not going to. And then I gave in last night because it kept getting posted. And I was like, all right, fuck, let's watch it. And I got into it. I didn't want to like it, but I loved it. It was so cool. Their fucking world is really ridiculous, quite frankly. I homeschool. You homeschool for 15 years? Woo, woman. You deserve a medal. I'm not even playing. That's hard because I have learning disabilities, and it was very hard for me to grow up. And luckily, my son is going to be a year next month, and I can't celebrate his birthday, which sucks. My sister couldn't celebrate her daughter's birthday either, but it's all right. It's no big deal. They're small. They're not going to necessarily remember this. And then when this lifts, then we can have those birthday parties. But sorry. But homeschooling for 15 years is, I'm just luckily happy that my daughter so far that I've noticed, like I said, I can't really tell if my son, because he's too tiny, he's too young, but she's super duper smart. And she doesn't really, as I've noticed, she doesn't have dyslexia. Like, she doesn't get anything backwards. She's super duper smart. She picks up on stuff. For a 2-year-old, she just talks with such intelligence. And I really am so happy about the fact that I got to stay home, because I honestly believe the biggest reason that she speaks so well and so clearly from other kids that I've seen is because of the fact that I do daily interact with her. And I think that sometimes in certain daycares and stuff, you don't always get that 100%, that one-on attention, because there's so many different kids, you know what I'm saying? And I thought about doing that. And I watched multiple different kids at one time, but if you have a certain amount, and if you want to claim taxes, you have to have a certain license, a lot to go through. And anyways, and it's just absolutely great. That's wonderful. Also want to mention, thank you so much, Silver. You have been, besides the only other viewer and the person who liked it, I don't know if that was you or another person, but you guys are the one. Daycares are dangerous. That's another reason why I am glad that I stay home. Thank you for that. But I do want to say thank you, Silver, for the two people, you and the other person who I do not know who they are, who are mystery. But I want to thank you guys for watching this, because it really does, because I only have I think this is like the 6th video I have, just kind of starting off my channel. And this is just for me to get my opinion out there. Daycares are horribly dangerous. I hate daycares. And that's another reason why I really, really am so glad, in the same sense that it sucks that I have epilepsy and that it is so devastating that I can't work, but I did find a solution to that, which after the whole COVID-19 thing, I found a company that literally works with people just like me for disability so I can have a job. I thought that was really cool, so I won't get fired. But I can't do any of that until after COVID-19 is over. So like in the end of May, probably. Anyways, but daycares are horribly dangerous and I hate them. And I was abused in a daycare and me and my sister were actually locked in a basement when we were younger. My sister, I think, was 3 and I was a baby. I was like 1, I think. And I didn't know. I don't remember it. I don't know what was going on. I just know that this woman had like a whole bunch of kids. And back then, you know, when you had to find a person in daycare. And back then it was people, I think, were a lot more trusting than they are now because they see what people are. And we should do a collaboration. That's super awesome. I love that. That's awesome. I'm always looking for anybody that wants to sit there and do anything with me. I love that. I think it's great. No matter if you have a similar view or a different view, I love doing as long as everybody in the entire conversation is cordial, calm. You can be heated, but as long as you don't get like crazy, I love it. Go ahead and message me in my, actually on YouTube. I don't think I've ever actually done the whole messaging thing on YouTube. And then I can go ahead and we can talk to each other from there. If you want to do a collaboration, we kind of get to know each other a little bit, which I love. So thank you for that. That was awesome. Anyways, and so, oh God, you guys ever get a brain fart? Please forgive me, Lord, for saying your name in vain, but I just got a brain fart. But anyways, yeah, we were, because when her bringing up the daycare thing really did. I loved my nephew's daycare. He sat there and they had cameras. You have a private code for each child that only the parent or grandparent, whoever you give it to, you can log in. You put your child's code in. You can literally see all their activities. I loved that because we could just check up on him, and especially because he was like me and he has anxieties. But yeah, my sister, when we were in daycare and stuff like that, she protected me, and because she knew what was going on was wrong when we were obviously locked in a fucking basement, even though she was like 3, she knew this was wrong, and this happened to her every day. And eventually for a 3-year-old, and even I have a 2-year-old, I have no idea how my daughter would explain it to me. We are friends from K. Oh, yes. Wonderful. I'm so glad. That's why I posted that on there. Just got actual on my computer because I was excited. So it's great. That's cool. Then I'm going to go ahead and then add me on my regular Facebook and then just message me through there and then we can talk. That's awesome. You're a Caitlin Bennett fan. Wicked. Anywho, and then so what happened is I couldn't even imagine my daughter trying to fucking come to me and explain to me that she was locked in a basement at 2. You know, my sister was 3, but still didn't matter. 2, 3, whatever. That's still horrific for a child to sit there and have to come explain. So from what my parents told me, that she started to describe where she was and what was going on. One thing I do remember that she said that she distinctly remembers is that there was one kid. Now, mind you, this lady had a whole daycare and we were the only ones locked in a basement. I don't know why. We actually saw this lady later on in life at my sister's Sweet 16 birthday party at a hotel, and it took every single ounce of my mother not to like literally kill that lady. I'm just gonna do air quotes. Anyways, because you know what this woman did, but she was literally there, and what are you gonna do? You're gonna ruin your entire daughter's birthday party? You're gonna go attack this lady and jump into the pool because like they were like right by the pool. My mom was lady, but anyways. She had a whole daycare full of kids, and we were not locked in there. She had her own kids there, and all the other kids were totally free to play. She just didn't like us, and she locked us in the basement. And then one of the kids, my sister said, she told her, I think it was one of her kids, said, "Mom, that Sarah and Elizabeth are getting out of the basement." She's still, like locked from the outside, lock us in there. And so, yeah, daycares are not. I don't like daycares. They piss me off, especially with all the shit. I think that there was that. There's kids that have had their hair cut off, been tortured, just been locked. Silver, did you see that thing about all those fucking kids that were, that lady was running that daycare and she had a hidden false wall that she had all those kids stuff behind? Since you brought up daycares, dude, like, what the fuck? Like, I don't understand, let alone, I hate even, like, and this sounds so mean, not so mean, but so sensitive. I don't even like killing bugs unless they're like really creepy, scary, or could hurt me kind of bugs. But like spiders, I leave spiders alone. I'm not afraid of spiders. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, hold on one second. Something I will mention in my videos, guys, I smoke cigarettes, and a lot of the time I'll go off talking and then my cigarette will go out and then I will relight my cigarette. So I don't trust nobody with my babies neither. I'm serious, because the shit that I've gone through as a kid, the shit that my husband's gone through, I don't know one person in my life that has not been fucked up as a kid with something. If it was not mental, physical, sexual, something. And when I decide to do Head Start with my daughter and do preschool, I have already looked into only specific programs that have the camera option available. Now, if there are other people, yes, amen. Now, and Silver, if you have anybody that you know that has family or friends and have kids, they literally have watches where you can sit there and your kids can literally, you can just click into their watch and you can see everything they're doing. So it's like a live nanny cam that's on their wrist. It also has like GPS location. I think it's like $50. It's pretty reasonable it's saving your kids pretty much. So for $50 fucking dollars, yeah. And that's what I would do. I would either only when both my children, my daughter and my son, I don't have to worry about my son going to school, but my daughter will eventually be doing Head Start and kindergarten soon. And I'm not going to sit there, and I want them to have fucking cameras. Either they have cameras or she's getting one of them watches, or both. Because I'm not having nor my son or my daughter sit there and be one of these crazy fucking statistics of people abusing children, because they're every fucking where. And one thing I get so sick and tired of people doing is acting like women can't abuse children, or anybody for that matter. Like the whole fucking Johnny Depp case thing going on right now. Like, women can be horribly mean too. Like the whole hashtag Me Too movement. Like, we have to believe women. No, it's called due fucking process, dumb. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, people are stupid when it comes to that shit. Like, I know people who have actually been victimized by women. So yes, there's a higher statistic of rate when it comes to children being hurt by men, but women are just as able. And I think that's something that people don't sit there and talk about, which is a thing. I think all classrooms should have cameras too, because not only does it protect the children, but it protects the teacher or the daycare provider. Because there could be an incident where, say, your child's at a daycare, they say the parents are separated. Say the kid gets an injury from one household, then goes to daycare, and then the daycare provider is set there and inevitably blamed for the injury because they didn't know where it came from. Well, you have proof. It's all on camera. Or vice versa for the child, that if you sit there and you're like, look, my fucking kid can come home with a bruise and some crazy shit or whatever and stuff like that. Yeah, no, I obviously have proof. It's all on camera. So I think that, and even in high schools, I think they should, especially with the fact that that the kids can be violent in school. I know I was a dickhead. And, and there are people that put their hands on fucking teachers and other things. My upper lip itched, guys. The women allowed. Oh my gosh. See, that's what I'm saying. I know people can probably see that, but I don't want to sit there and necessarily say exactly what you said out loud. But people are, and people don't realize that. I think that women are undetected when it comes to that shit. You know what I mean? Like, we're supposed to be super sweet and super gentle, and most women are, but so can men. And in the same sense, women can be evil, aka Carol Baskin, or whatever the fuck her name is, who murdered her fucking husband. I just had to throw that in there with everything going on. But yeah. So those are mainly the things that I wanted to discuss. I would say, besides that, the real thing that the only other thing I want to press is the fact that people in the media, we all know about the fake news. We all know about CNN. How about I See You Lying is what you should name your fucking news company. People are now storming to social media platforms like Caitlin Bennett and Steven Crowder. And those are more right-leaning views or libertarian views or whatever and stuff like that. But people are looking for outside information because they don't believe the fucking news. And there are lots of people who weren't Trump supporters now who are coming out. But I mean, a lot. Tracy Morgan, the guy who was the founder and owner of Home Depot. are talking about the fact that the fucking left is sitting here trying to act like President Trump isn't doing, he's overreacting. He's putting people in panic. He needs to calm down. It's not that contagious. Then blam, he sits there and he cuts off China. He gets in trouble for that. He's either not doing enough or he's doing too much. Then he sits there and he did the social quarantine. That's too much. Then he didn't do enough. And it's just like, you're fucking kidding me. And so people are going to other platforms because they're sick and tired of hearing this shit. Now, because of this, because of COVID, they're literally exposing themselves like rawly because of the fact that people are home, people have the time and the resources to literally take the time to investigate. Most people when they're at work, they don't have the time that say like I do, or someone who might be retired or someone who might work from home has the time to be able to look into these things. I used to be a Democrat. I was part of the #WalkAway campaign. I didn't even know it was a thing. I used to be one of those people who thought orange mad bad because I just believed and didn't look up anything factual. So that's why I fact check so much shit now. Hold on. What do you mean by that? Will you elaborate, Silver? Because like I'm kind of getting what you're saying, but like elaborate. Anyways, please. Gotta add please. Anyways, so I think that's like really what's gonna fuck up the left, quite honestly, especially within November coming with the Bernie dropping out. We have deranged Biden, who's probably just literally dazing off into la la land somewhere and needs to go sit in a senior fucking home. But anyways, I would even put him in a senior facility. Okay. Because, oh God, it'd annoy all the other old people there. But anyways, and just in general, I think that this COVID is actually exposing the hypocrisy and the absolute just ridiculousness that the left is. And yeah, exactly. Yes. Wait. At least the Democrats believe what? And you said you want less government, basically. Yeah, I do too. One of my biggest things is I believe I always say that I'm independent. I do lean more to the right view now. I used to go, I was never a leftist. I was just on the Democratic side. But the fact that I want Sam. Hi, how are you? Hi, Sam. I don't know what how do I know you, Sam? Do I know you, honey? Let me know. And if not, thank you. And I'm very happy that you're here. But less government in the sense of I believe that I wish, because I'm a tax-paying citizen, that I wish that I could pick exactly where my taxes go. Now, I believe that this is the difference between libertarian and the difference between, and what I believe is I do believe we should have a lot less government, but I do believe that government should be in place in certain aspects in certain situations stronger than what it is. I believe there's a lot of places that there's a lot less, there's not enough resources for it. And there's other resources going to shit that doesn't matter. For me, I believe that if I'm a tax-paying citizen, I believe that partially part of my taxes needs to go to public funding, which is the roadways, the lights, the things that are genuinely that we all use as tax-paying citizens. But I don't want my fucking tax money to fund Planned fucking Parenthood. I do not want to sit there and fund any place that I don't personally believe my money. I'm working for that money. I'm seeing you guys take 200, however much money out of my fucking paycheck that I worked, and you're telling me that I'm forced to give you my money to support fucking Margaret fucking racist ass Sanger's fucking facility of Planned Parenthood, where she wanted to exterminate all Black people and put Planned Parenthoods in low poverty neighborhoods. Please, anybody in the comments, anybody that you know, name one Planned Parenthood you've seen in a even middle class area. And especially, I guess they went on a rich, but if you've seen one, name the places you see them. Because I'm going to tell you right now, it's in the ghetto. Okay. And it's just, it is literally the one that I used to live at in Indiana was literally right next to, I'm not gonna say exactly where, but was like Planned Parenthood's here, go right down here under this tunnel. There's the fucking ghetto. And the reason I know that is because I used to be friends with a lot of my friends that went to school and they would go over there. Yes, they are. They're in poor neighborhoods because why? Because Margaret Sanger knew that she inevitably had a quiet plan to hush, hush. We don't want to tell anybody, but we're going to fucking eliminate and exterminate Black people was what her plan was, which is horrifically horrible. And that's one of the biggest reasons that not only do I not believe in abortion, but I do not believe in the fact that how could you sit there and support someone that literally was trying to exterminate your entire race and believed that not only should Black people not be allowed to procreate, and she wanted to eliminate and exterminate Black people. Literally, I say exterminate because that's how she felt. Sorry, guys, pardon me. Oh my God, I was going to run away. I'm coughing. No, I'm just kidding. Anyways, and she sat there and she made it to the point where she thinks that she wanted to make sure that Black people had less children. She wanted to sit there and pick certain people at their financial bracket, who they were, and specifically their rank or status, depended if they could have kids or not. And so she wanted to control that basis of it. There's a whole bunch more that I've gone into digging into Margaret Sanger. There's an actual book that is written by somebody else talking about Margaret Sanger and what she did. And it's called The Negro Project. And I need to get the book. I want to sit there and read the entire book from front to cover and then actually sit there and I probably won't write an article, but I'm definitely going to make a video on it, read the book, give my review on it, see how I like it, and actually even know more of an exposure. Because when you look on Google, it's there, but finding factual things is hard about Margaret Sanger. I mean, I call different bookstores, I call different libraries. Funny fact is when you call the libraries, there's nothing against Margaret Sanger. Yeah. Let's just think about that. Yes, Sarah, thank you. Yes, I knew I fucking forgot something. Man, Silver, me and you, we're going to be friends. I can feel it. Anyways, that's exactly what I forgot. I knew I forgot fucking something. She believed, see, man, I'm so happy someone else fucking thinks the way I do and knows this shit because people don't know this stuff. People are so surprised when I tell them this. When I say, do you support Planned Parenthood? Do you believe in, are you pro-choice or you pro-life? Like, and then I tell them, they're like, whoa. And I'm like, yeah. Anyways, yes, she did. Silver is right. She was also on the front lines. I'm going to read exactly what she said. She said she was also on the front lines for forced sterilization and for disabled people and low income poverty level. That's exactly, you said exactly the way I wanted to force people like me. She believed people like me, okay, should not have children. If you had a disability, you are low income. It didn't matter. She just she wanted rich white people to have fucking kids. And if that isn't the fucking definition of fucking racism, I don't know what is, because literally she's saying that the superior white people should be able to procreate and everyone else shouldn't. You know what I'm saying? So if you're deaf, dumb, or retarded in a way, and I'm not saying that in an offensive way, please don't think that. I'm just saying she believed these people should inevitably not have children because she thought that if, say, I have epilepsy, I could pass that down to my kids. Yeah, I could, but I didn't get epilepsy passed down to me. Nobody in my family on both sides has it. I just have it. And so she believed that would make the world a better place. And what kills me is that fucking Hillary Clinton literally has outright said in the media that Margaret Sanger is like her hero and her idol, and she looks up to this bitch. And she's running for a Democrat, and she ran for Democratic office and trying to get Black Democratic voters to vote for her. And they don't know, not all, not saying all, but a lot of people didn't know. I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? And so you really got to wake yourself up to this. And I remember you're like, oh, you're always talking about fucking the news and the media and this and history. I'm like, yeah, because I never fucking knew it. And I opened my fucking eyes, dove into this rabbit hole and was like, whoa. And finally woke up and saw everything that was really going on and this crazy shit we're in. But, this has been a really, really great video. I talked about a lot of things that I wanted to. One of the things about my videos is that I do tend to I'll want to name, so the video of this is COVID-19, but look, we talked about many different things. We talked about, helping your children and staying occupied and Margaret Sanger and the president. And I talk about a lot of different things and stuff like that. So definitely something you can expect from me if you do continue to watch my videos is that, yes, the name of the video, I'm going to try to stay on topic, but because of the fact that my brain, I'm bipolar, so I just it's a lot going on in here one time to kind of get out. I talk fast and I talk a lot. People have told me I should be an auctioneer. I've thought about it. Anyways, and so one thing you're going to get from me, I do like to pre-warn people about that, about myself, because I even tell people when I'm around people, like in day-to-day life, I am bipolar, so I talk fast, I talk a lot. If you need me to slow down, just say something, and I will. And that's just me. But anyways, I really, really do. This is what you're going to get from me. So we might sit there and the video might say COVID-19. We're going to talk about that, but I'm also going to sit there and drop a different, different things that I feel that either correlate or align or somehow lead off into a passageway to the topic that I started talking about. So this is what you're going to get from me. At least you're sending me a message. Okay. Wonderful. I'm about to get off here, Silver. So when I end this, then I'm going to jump off here and go to Facebook. I don't know if you added me as a friend, but if you haven't yet, go ahead and add me. And then me and you can go ahead and talk when I jump off this, if you have time, honey. And the 3 people that are watching, I know one's Silver, but I don't know who the other 2 are, unless the other one might be Sam. I'm really, really excited though for all of this. This was really, really awesome. I really pray to God, because this is my first, there's only one live chat I had where one person interacted with me. And this has been the most fluid interaction I've had for a live chat. So I really, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and take a, I just wanted to make sure to prove, because if they take this fucking video down, because mind you, my channel is like extremely tiny. Like I said, I have like 6 videos. They take this down because I named this motherfucker COVID. And that's kind of the reason why I did, was to see if they would they take it down? Would they not? Yeah. So if you watch my videos, you're going to get me. I'm a weirdo. And I'm a person that we used to be in the Democratic Party, and I am no longer a part of their crazy, absolute, just ridiculously insanity, the racism that is there on the left, and the slavery, and oh gosh, it makes me want to vomit. But you're going to get me. I'm very sporadic. I'm very me. I'm very, very off the cuff. I'm going to tell you how it is, and that's just how I feel. I don't normally try to watch what I say, because I don't give a fuck. That's not how the real world works. You don't have you have somewhat of a filter, but I don't. I have a very little filter. The only reason I even have one is now because I have kids. So I have to, so I don't go to jail. Kidding. But not really. But seriously though, that's what you're going to get from me. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to tell you how it is. I'm going to sit there, and if you like my opinion, you can like it. If you don't have to. If you want to sit there and debate me, you're more than welcome to. I love debating people. I love seeing people who have this view on this. Pretty much in a gist, I am pro-life, pro-gun, pro LGBTQ, and I'm not trying to think all the other things. Pro Trump, used to be an ex-Democratic, and and I believe in God. So I think those are pretty much it. Besides that, I'm just me. I'm a loudmouth bitch, and I say what I want to say, and either you like it or you don't. And that's just how I feel. And I'm so sick and tired of this snowflakey fucking culture that we live in. Like, I was never exposed to that shit when I was a fucking kid. Like, it was like, okay, kid, you fell the fuck down. You got dirt on you. Fucking wipe it off and get the fuck back up. Now, I'm not saying, obviously, like, bullying shouldn't be a thing, but people are so fucking sensitive nowadays. Like, come on. Like, we can't even stand up. You could fucking... Dave Chappelle can't even fucking stand up and have a fucking comedy special without fucking people freaking the fuck out, dude. You know what I'm saying? And the fucked up part that I think is crazy is people sit there and try to call him like he's against gays. They were going to try and call him racist, but he's black and his wife is Asian. So that didn't make any sense. But yeah, anyways, so that's what you're going to get from me. Anyways, this is my channel. Also, guys, just an FYI, I got married. So my name is Sarah Ginter on here, but I am going to sit there. Bonnie, wait a minute. Bonnie, oh shit. Now I get it. Damn it. I don't know if you want that in the video, but it is now. Now I get the correlation, wicked. But this is what you're going to get from me. But I just got married, so I'm going to change my last name on here from being Ginter to Hoke, which is my last name. Go ahead, make fun of my new last name. I know it's hokey pokey, whatever. We've heard it like a bajillion times, but it's cool. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. So that could be like an intro song. You just have like the fucking hokey pokey song play. All right. Anyways, guys, have a fucking blessed. Nah, that sounded terrible. I just cussed. I'm sorry. That's another thing you're getting. You're going to get a little bit of Tourette's because I cuss and I don't mean to. And it kind of intertwines with itself. So anyways, have a blessed day is what I meant to say without using the F word. Sorry, guys. But anyways, everyone have a blessed night and just stay safe. Love each other. Pray for each other. And no matter if you have a difference of opinion, make sure to sit there and pray and care for those people, because even though you have a different view, they're still people. They're still all God's children. And we still are all in this together. And we all live in the United States. This is our country. This is our world. And we need to protect it. And we need to do everything we can to stick together, especially in times like this. So I really appreciate all the love. And I really, really appreciate the fact that this went on for literally 60 minutes. It's going on. We're about 59 minutes in. And I thank you for all the love and appreciation. And anybody that ever did stop and view, even if you didn't comment, I appreciate it. I love you guys. And I will be back whenever I have the next thing I want to rant about. Bye, guys. Have a good night.